We truly believe at Blue Monarch that if you can change the way you think, you can change your entire life. We have a parenting teacher on site, which is the creme de la creme. Without our parenting teacher, I don't know what we would do, because what we see is so generational. It's not odd for us to hear a young woman come in and say, the first time that I ever shot up meth, I was 11 years old with my grandparents. Or my first drink was when I was 9 with my grandfather or my mother.
So welcome to the Redemption Project. I am your host, Brandon Burley. And today we're going to be doing Tennessee Good Work of the Week. We are going to be talking about Blue Monarch. So they are out in West Tennessee for my East Tennessee folks. And she's going to explain to us what they do, why they're here, what their purpose is. And Shakia, what is your role with them, by the way?
So I am the Officer of Development and Community Relations at Blue Monarch. And
Oof,
I graduated the program 5 years ago.
that is a mouthful.
Yeah. So this
Okay.
mission is it is something that is deep to me and very personal.
Sure. So
Yeah.
what is the mission?
So it is our mission to break destructive cycles and rebuild families at Blue Monarch. We are a completely long-term faith-based recovery program for women and children coming out of abuse, addiction, and economic hardship. What sets us apart is we put just as much emphasis on the child's recovery as we do the mother's. How do we keep a family together? How do we break the destructive cycle? We have to keep that family together. And then we start doing the hard work to ensure that those cycles are completely rebuilt.
Wow. So do you only take mothers with children? What if they are a mother, but maybe DCS has taken their child already or something like that?
Well, we do only take mothers with children, and we actually specialize in situations like that. There are some women that come with their children, and then there are those who, in the midst of their trauma and their addiction, have lost custody of their children. We help that mother heal completely, and once we see that she's in a position where we can go help her go into court and get custody restored, we do that. So she doesn't have to have her kids, but um, she has to be in a position where she's able to get them back. So,
Sure. Okay. So she could not have permanently lost custody or
mhm,
signed over rights. She has to have the ability to get her children back. And then
yes,
the idea is that you are going to bring the children back into a relationship where the
mhm,
mother is in the healing process, and then you
yes,
start helping the children as well.
absolutely. Because we realize that it's not just the mother that is healing, but the children have experienced some trauma as well. And so
Wow.
they need specific services as well. So, yeah.
So now you mentioned at the beginning that you were
Mhm.
also a graduate of this 5 years ago.
Yes.
What was it like 5 years ago when you did it? What's different now? And what made you end up at Blue Monarch? Like what was the final trigger that said, "Hey, this is where I need to be"?
Yeah. Well, I had a struggle with addiction, opiate addiction for 14 years. And I had tried everything. I had been to almost every program and nothing worked. 14 days wasn't enough, 30 days wasn't enough. And I hit rock bottom when I got into a near fatal car accident. And I started reaching out to Blue Monarch. And when I had the opportunity to come, that's where my entire life shifted, not just for me, but my children as well. And when I got here, it wasn't an easy program, but it was exactly what me and my children needed. We offer many services to heal the whole person. And once you start receiving what you are gaining from the program, then you start to see that new person, the person you always were underneath the drugs.
Wow, that's awesome. So, first off, congratulations to you
Thank you.
for graduating in now 5 years. And now you've got the longest title I've ever heard of in my life. And so that's impressive. Good job. So, explain to the people watching where you
Mhm.
are, how they could support you, what it is. Are you guys a 501c3, C4? What
we,
are you?
we are a 501c3, and we are, tell me what you asked me one more time because it was a
Um,
mouthful.
it
We
was a
are a
mouthful.
501c3.
Yep. Where are you guys located?
So we are out in the middle of the country on 108 acres. We
Nice.
say that we what we post, our address is a Mont Eagle address because of some of the situations that our ladies are coming out of. We don't
Sure.
ever want a crazy ex or someone showing up on property. But we are close to the Mont Eagle area.
Okay.
And ways that you can get involved is you can go to bluemonarch.org. And if you go to bluemonarch.org, that is like the syllabus of our program. Any and everything that you need to know, want to know, expect to know, you will find on that website. Also, we have a Facebook and we have a YouTube channel as well. I highly recommend that if you've never seen Blue Monarch, go to our Blue Monarch YouTube channel and look at the videos because it gives you a broader view and a glimpse into who we are, what we do. You get to hear from our founder and president, and then you get to see the property and hear from some of the ladies that are either currently in the program or getting ready to graduate the program.
That's awesome. And yeah, so the people that do you guys do volunteers or anything like
We
other
do.
women?
We do.
Okay.
We love our volunteers. We could not do what we do the way that we do it without our volunteers. They are like the heart behind what we do. And so there is also on bluemonarch.org a place where you can sign up to become a volunteer and fill out that volunteer application. And we are always looking for volunteers, some, but not limited of some of the opportunities are we need transportation. That's a big thing for us. We have women that is going to court and has doctor's appointments and trying to get their legal matters situated. We do everything on site. However, there are some things that the ladies do off site. We do not allow our ladies to take public transportation. So our volunteers come in and they help fulfill that need. We also have volunteers that come in and do cooking classes, Bible studies, life skill classes, and the list goes on and on. That was just a few. And there's also a question on our volunteer application. What is important to you? What do you like to do? Because you may have something to offer that we didn't know we needed or we have been looking for. So yeah, volunteers
That's
are
awesome.
always a must.
And I assume it is women only volunteers, correct?
Well, no, we have
Oh,
some men, and they're
okay.
typically married couples. We have male mentors for our little boys. So we have some young men who have some little boys, and well, they are young men, but little boys on campus, and they have never seen a healthy role model. And so we have some really courageous and kind mentors that will come alongside these little guys and show them a good time and show them that they are loved and that they are seen. And so, is it mostly women? Yes, but there are some men that will come out and love on our boys.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So when somebody is, do you accept people coming out of prison or?
we do. We
Okay.
do.
So,
Sometimes women are actually furloughed to us.
oh, wow. Okay. So let's say you get a furlough or you get
Mhm.
released, either end of sentence, probation, parole, whatever the case may be, and they
Mhm.
want to come to you. What does it look like when they come to you? What does a typical life at Blue Monarch look like?
So, life at Blue Monarch is a trust fall, first and foremost. You have to let go of everything you know, everything you think you know, and come in. And when you get there, there's a 30-day blackout. There will be no communication with anyone. And you will not have any, you can only have about 4 phone calls a week. And I could be so wrong about that. I'm not in charge of that part. But the outgoing and ingoing calls are very limited. They have a time frame. There is no relationships with past people that you've had relationships with, sexual relationships. Um, there are your food habits will be completely changed. You, I'm so sorry. I'm going like so. When you get to Blue Monarch, there is a lot of things that you have to let go.
Sure. Yeah.
Not
As I
just a
would expect, because you're trying to change, trying to break that cycle, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so when you get there, they have a schedule that they have to abide by,
Sure.
and they are not allowed to work while they're at Blue Monarch. Their job at Blue Monarch is working on their recovery.
That's
It is
amazing.
doing that hard work. We have many classes that they go through. Each woman will go through individualized Christian counseling. Each woman will go through group therapy classes. They will have a big sister that will come alongside them and get them acclimated to the culture of Blue Monarch. We have a program called RDAP, which is an acronym for Residential Drug Abuse Program. And what that deals with is cognitive thinking. You know what I mean? It's not weird for us to hear something like that. So we realize it's a generational pattern. They may have never had a positive mother or father in the house. And what Trisha Smead, our parenting director, does is she comes alongside them and she teaches them how to be active parents and not reactive parents. And so we slowly but surely begin to see the woman, the mother that they were always ordained to be, start to come to the forefront because she is dealing with the trauma, she's dealing with the pain, and she's doing the hard work. And that is their job during the day at Blue Monarch, a full, complete schedule. In fact, we want to make this so real for them because we know that this is an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity to come to a place like Blue Monarch. When they leave, they'll be going back out into the real world. And so we make them clock in and clock out every day, like this is their job. So that's the
Wow.
typical day at Blue Monarch. It's a lot of work, but it's
Okay.
a lot of work that will literally help you become who you were supposed to be.
Wow, that's amazing. And so do you guys work with I know that you were talking about your Christian services and
Mhm.
a lot of my redemption work is faith-based. So do you
Yeah,
guys work with a
important.
church or how does that work? Do you have your own pastoral staff or
Well, our program director, we call her like our pastor on site, Jeannie Campbell, and we partner with a lot of churches. A lot of people find out about Blue Monarch, the trans work that's happening out here, and they want to be a part of what's going on. So I can't say that we're connected to just one church because the body of Christ here is about the transformation of what God is doing out here, and they want to be a part of it. And they show up every single time for each and every family that we serve. While on site, it is a requirement for our ladies to go to church. But what we've seen is that has been the piece for them that is groundbreaking. We believe at Blue Monarch that Jesus is the center, but God gave us clinical tools too. And so we utilize those clinical tools and we let Jesus do what he does. He does the transformation. All we need is a willing heart to
Mm,
say, I'm willing to take these tools and do the work. And then you see the fruit of them doing the work. Every Sunday, they do go to church. They go to church to specific churches that our leadership team goes to. But if we're talking about the church as a whole, there are many churches that partner with Blue Monarch.
that's amazing. And
Yeah.
so are you guys to circle back to the prison aspect, are you guys a halfway house as well then?
No, we are
Okay.
not. We are a home.
Okay.
We are a home for women and children. We're not a shelter. We specifically hone in on breaking the destructive cycle and rebuilding that family. So we are very family oriented and healing the whole person.
So does how is your relationship with um like probation and parole or
Mhm.
Tennessee Department of Corrections? How has that worked out for you guys?
Man, we have such a good relationship with them.
So
They know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
They often refer people to us. And something that I've seen recently that was absolutely amazing is we have a graduate who is on our team. By the way, we have 8 or 9 graduates on our team that work at Blue Monarch because
That's
our founder
awesome.
and president, Susan, said that we know firsthand and have experienced it. So we would know it more. And so Ashlyn Mays is a graduate of the program. And she said to me, I asked her when she was a resident, what do you want to do when you graduate the program? Because the ladies go through a work ethics class with our founder and president where they get to choose a career that they'll love so they'll never work another day of their lives. And she said to me, I want to go back to speak to the judges to let them know that every time I was in trouble or they saw me over and over again, it wasn't because I wanted to. There was just a lot of things that happened before and I didn't know how to deal. Well, that young lady, when she graduated, got the chance to invite a few of the judges from her area. And they came out and they were blown away. And then they called and they wanted to tour the campus. And so we have a really good relationship with the court system and probation officers. And yeah,
Man, that's amazing.
it
And
really is.
what about with DCS? How's your relationship with them?
So we have a good relationship with DCS as well. They know and are thankful that they have an organization like us that is willing to come in and do the hard work with grit and determination to make sure that these children are not just another statistic, that these families, that these children thrive. And so a lot of times they may have to come in when we are seeing a family restored, like we talked about earlier in the interview. And they may have to watch over for a while. And they are, from my experience, I believe that they are extremely grateful, and we are, for the way that they work with us as well, so that we can ensure that we can get this family back together.
That's awesome. So how long is the program?
Great question. So we are an 18 to 24-month program in our residential piece. And
Okay.
then we have an additional program called WINGS, and it stands for Women in Newly Grounded Success. And we have 8 seaside cottages on site. At the end of the program, like I told you before, our ladies, our graduates, will go through an extensive work ethics class with our founder and president, Susan Binkley. Then they will be able, once graduated, they'll be able to transition to our WINGS community, where they will get a seaside cottage for them and their family for a year. So we get a family up to 3 years if a woman takes a hold of everything that we offer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And so they've got 3 years when they graduate the program while they're at the
Mm-hmm.
seaside cottage, is that when they go out and get a traditional job, or how does that work?
So in Susan's work ethics class, I'm telling you, it is I have never seen anything so amazing. The things that take place in this woman's office, and everything happens like kind of organically. So you go in there and you tell her what you want to be. She helps you pull out things that you never even knew you had on the inside of you, strengths, things that you just never knew existed. And then it just so happens that there will be a donor in the area, or a volunteer, or someone connected to the program that does exactly what that lady does, that does exactly what that lady wants to do. And then they will come alongside her, let her shadow, take her alongside. Let me just give you an example. Our vice board, Dr. Myers, he is an OBGYN. We've had over 3 women go through Susan's work ethics class and decide they wanted to go into medical coding. They now work for him. And
Wow.
so it just happens. We had a pilot, a young lady, Lauren Mason, who was on our team, our case manager. She went through the program with Susan's class, and Susan and Lauren knew that Susan would have to find something to grip her attention, because she was just always fast paced. And she decided she wanted to be a pilot. And organically, there was a generous donor in the area who believed in this young lady, came and sat in Susan's office, met with both of them, and he donated his plane and the time for her to learn how to fly. Exactly.
Wow.
And when she gets the chance to fly, and she's an amazing pilot, she literally flies the plane over Blue Monarch's campus. And every woman, every child, every cat, every dog is chasing that plane like, whoa, if God did this for her, what can he do with my life? He allowed her to use his plane. And
Okay.
an instructor that came alongside him that believed in it as well. And she was able to fly for free and use his
Wow.
plane, and he paid for the gas. And she's a pilot today.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That is so cool.
it is.
So what does Blue Monarch stand for? How'd the name come to be? How'd this whole thing evolve into what it is today?
Okay, that is such a great question. So God gave our founder and president, Susan Binkley, this very, very, very powerful dream. And sometimes I almost don't like sharing it, because I butcher her dream, and no one can tell it like she can, because I'm telling you, every time you hear it, it is like the first time that you ever heard it. And so, just so you know, she wrote an Amazon bestseller. This book is absolutely phenomenal. So I strongly urge you to get you a copy. And it is
Okay.
called From My Front Row Seat. It is a collection of her blogs of Welcome Alongside Women and Children in the past 20 years. And so she had a powerful dream one night. And in this dream, it went into great detail how to put something together like Blue Monarch. She thought it was a dream that she intercepted. In fact, she thought that this was a dream she should be telling somebody else, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And through a series of events, she found out that this indeed was something that God wanted her to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, because you have to go to bluemonarch.org and purchase your book. And so, to the name, by this time, she's coming to realization that this is what she's supposed to do, and she was wondering what the name would be. And as she was walking through her house, she heard something on TV said, like a monarch. They travel far west, I believe, and they are resilient. They don't die off. All these powerful things she heard. And so she stuck her head into the living room and she said, like a monarch. The name resonated with her. And her favorite color was blue. So she put Blue Monarch. And so that's how we got the name. Yes.
So you guys have this amazing program. You're out in the middle of nowhere, 100 acres, just women learning how to thrive and be mothers and be the best people that they can be with these children growing up and getting the help that they need. So then what's the next step for Blue Monarch? Are you scaling or what?
No, we are in the process. I get so excited when I talk about Blue Monarch. Don't mind me. So we are in the process of expanding. And let me tell you, Brendan, we originally started out on 50 acres and now let me say 50 acres and 2 houses. And now we're on 108 acres with 14 building structures. Wow. So we are in the process of growing. Right now, we're building a 24,000 square foot multi-purpose building. Everything leads to the multi-purpose building. We've been fundraising for this building for the past 2 years, and we have currently turned the main house into our offices, and all the staff is on top of each other. In my office, I have 5 people. Susan has an office. She walks out. Deanna has an office. And so we're just bursting at the seams, which is a good problem to have doing the type of work that we do. But when this multi-purpose building opens up, it will put us in a position where we will all have offices, our own personal offices. We will have a chapel in there. We will have a computer lab for the ladies to have what they need at their fingertips, because a lot of them go back to school. They get their GEDs while there. Some, when they get to Susan's work ethics class, may decide they want to go to college. We will have an area for the kids, our parenting teacher. And I don't want to lie to you, but let me tell you this. This will put us in a position to serve and work with excellence in such a way that we've never done it before. So I'm super thrilled to see what that is going to look like. Currently in our residential, we can house 16 families. Okay. When this multi-purpose building opens up, that will enable us to turn the current house where our office space is into an additional 5 bedrooms.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
That's
and
awesome.
One more thing. So the multi-purpose building is what we're doing right now, but we have plans of also building another 8-family home on our land, a clinic. I mean, not a clinic, a daycare, and connected to the daycare will be an area for kids that have to stay home. Because what we've run into is once our ladies graduate work ethics and they get to the Wings program, a kid may get sick. And now, I don't know if it's always been a rule, but the rule is if your kid is sick, we don't want to see that kid for another 24 hours until we know, And so we wanted to make sure that we also created a space for our ladies who have now graduated and pursuing these amazing jobs, that if their kid does get sick, we have a space for them. If mom doesn't absolutely have to be home, they can bring their baby over to this daycare center, connected to the daycare center, the clinic, and their child can be there and get the services that they need.
That's awesome. So what about school-age children? Do you have any school-age children? And do they go to public school? Are they homeschooled? How does that work?
They go to public school. They go to the local public school.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So they are getting the traditional life experience just with a big family around them to lift them up and support them.
Yes. They get to be a kid.
That's awesome.
Their parents have missed that part. Not missed it, but they lost their childhood because of different circumstances that they grew up in. And now, because they came to Blue Monarch, their children will never have to experience what they went through.
That's so awesome. So I know that you are technology restrictive based on what you were talking about earlier. So how do these moms, how do they get pictures with their kids as they're going through this program and starting to build these memories?
We take them for them.
That's awesome.
We take a whole bunch. We love taking pictures of them. We love to see them when they come in. They're broken. They're wounded. They don't trust us. They don't want to be there. They don't know what life is going to look like for them. And so
Yeah.
we see them come in broken and distraught, but then all of a sudden we see this lightning upon them and these smiles and this unspeakable joy. And so we get all of that. We get all of it.
That's so awesome.
And then we send it to them when they graduate. When they graduate, they can have it. And then we plaster them all over Facebook, letting people know the impact that they are making by pouring into this mission.
So I'm glad that you said that about graduating. What is your graduation rate?
100%.
100%. You've never had anybody not graduate.
So we've had people not graduate, and it was all by their choice. But if you look
Sure.
at our success rate, we have 100% success rate. Let me say that. Let me rephrase that. For a woman that takes complete and total advantage of our entire program, meaning our 18 to 24-month residential program and our wings.
Wow.
What I will say, and Susan also shares this in her book, is that even if a woman decides that she no longer wants to be a Blue Monarch, or let's say we have to discharge her for a reason, and typically those reasons look like not listening, or well, we give a lot of grace. Let me say that. But when it comes to the point where the whole community is being affected, then sometimes we may have to make an executive choice. Susan shares something in her book called "We Are Called to Serve." She shares the motto, something that the Lord gave her when she was burnt out 10 years in: serve, not fix, love, not judge. And that is something that we'll ask in the staff meeting. Like, are we trying to fix her? Or are we trying to serve her? And if we ever get in the place of trying to fix, then we have a big problem. But back to what I was saying earlier, she shares a part in her book where she says that what she has noticed is that even a woman who does not complete the program, when she comes to Blue Monarch, because of how we initiate everything and the services that we offer, she still leaves Blue Monarch changed. And I have seen time and time again a woman that has not stayed the course, but one on Facebook saying, I just got married, or they show up to the same churches that we used to take to with their families. And so even if they don't graduate, that doesn't mean fate. It just means they need to utilize the tools that they got while they were there. And we do see that happen.
That's amazing. And as we're coming up on the end of our time, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time today. Also for being flexible. I apologize that I had to push us an hour. Oh, it's been a crazy day. But I am so happy that you guys were recommended to me to come and talk to and listen to these stories, because out here in East Tennessee, there's several programs that I love and I hold near and dear to my heart that are similar, but maybe not as scaled up as yours. Right. And so it's really, really fun to see the changes that can happen for people and how they are growing their lives back. And then to see successful people like you. Right. So from being in the program to, again, having the longest title I've ever heard in my whole life, and being there on campus every day, that's amazing. And
thank you so much.
Please keep up that good work.
We appreciate it is a privilege to be on your show, first and foremost, and we are honored to whoever nominated us.